My Greatest Adventure #1. It's an anthology book. It wasn't collected in trade. I have to deal with the floppy issues. Also, I can't really give a writer and artist up front because it's a bunch of different stories. We have 3 different stories, actually. One following Robot Man, one following Garbage Man, and one following Tanga. I'm familiar with Robot Man from Doom Patrol. I have no clue who the other 2 are. But we got to move somewhat quick through this because it is 3 separate stories. So, open up with Robot Man's story called Uncanny Valley. It's by Matt Cano writing and Scott Collins on art. And it opens up with Robot Man. He is taking on an unmanned battleship that's trying to start, as he calls it, Bay of Pigs Part 2 off the coast of California. He takes down some missiles, drops it into the sea, and some people get some pictures of him, but he's able to scrub the internet and remove all those pictures from online. He goes back to his base, which is called the Uncanny Valley. That's the locals' nicknames, but he gets the appeal of it. I guess they kind of run a detective agency or an adventure agency, but he's got a partner there who's named Maddie, I believe. And she's basically taken on a case of some dude went missing named Dr. Turing, and she's able to feel things, like feel how people are feeling. It's kind of vague so far. So basically she's like, hey, we got a new case, mainly because she's lying about something and she's hiding her thoughts from me somehow. And Robot Man's like, can you feel my thoughts? And he's like, no, you're a robot. And he's like, yes, but I was a man. And he flies off to the last known place, which was Havana, Cuba. And when he arrives at a busy restaurant, and he feels inside, and he's like, wait a minute, busy restaurant, but there's no like pheromones or anything. And he goes down, and everybody there is a zombie. And he kind of just like goes off on this little mental tangent about like how he used to be a thrill seeker back when he was a man. And as he's doing so, his arms and legs get ripped off, and he finally snaps back, and he's like, oh, right, I'm in danger. And that's where we end that part of the issue. Quick rating for that, 5.5. Art is kind of weird. It has some weird backdrop of it's all technological, like instead of white space, it's just green with a bunch of lines and dots. It's a bit distracting at times. Writing-wise, it feels like his narration wasn't even following the story. It just felt like something else entirely. But I'm interested in the zombie bit, so there's something. Next up, we have the Garbage Man story. Garbage Man Returns, story and pencils by Aaron Lopresti. We open up and Garbage Man is drowning, I guess. We have flashback. His wife wants a divorce because he's too wrapped up in his work. His name is Richard, by the way. Cut back to present day. There's a woman who, I guess, worked with him when he was alive, and she gets a note from a vagrant who says Garbage Man is alive, trust no one, he will be in touch. She's being watched by her bosses from a second-story window, who are like, she doesn't seem to know anything about Garbage Man, but keep an eye on her, because if she does, we'll have to take her out. Then we see who she is. She was the assistant to, or the secretary to Richard back while he was actually human. He screwed up his marriage for this account, or this thing he's working on called the Titan account. And he gives his secretary a necklace for being a friend. They make it very clear and upfront that they're just friends. I don't know how much that's true, but they really seem to want to point to it. Though she's looking at pictures of them hanging out once she gets home that night, and she's like, oh my god, you can't still be alive. So it seems like she wants to be more than friends. Anyway, Garbage Man washes up on the sewer shores of Gotham City. He manages to find a homeless, I don't even know, alley. Like just a group of homeless people all hanging out in an alley. And one of the guys named the Reverend, he approaches the Reverend and was like, hey, Reverend, I've decided to take you up on your offer. What does that mean? What does it do? I don't know. But Garbage Man. For that one, I'm going to give that one a 5.5. It's fine. The art is very well done. It looks very good. But, like, You've done nothing to get me interested in Garbage Man yet, and you really gotta push hard to get me interested in Garbage Man. And then we have, I don't even know what this is. It's Kevin McGuire, story and art. Tanga, it's called Restrained, is the story name. And we open up with this purple girl named Tanga, who's flying about on this alien planet. And she's like, oh, I'm just going to go visit the king. It's no big deal. Everybody on this planet loves me. I'm such a cool person. And she arrives, and then the guards start shooting at her. But, like, it's not doing anything because she has superpowers. Then there's this giant floating brown head. And I say floating, I mean like rocket powered. It has like jets beneath it. And he's like, oh, hey, there you are. I was kind of hoping the king could come out because a lot of people think that I may have killed him. And it's like, no, he's still resting. Don't worry, though. He's good. If you're worried, though, maybe just tell me what the source of your powers are. And he's like, Tanga's like, are you kidding me right now? And then the king shows up. And he's like totally different from everyone else we've seen. He wears this blue mask and he's like, oh, yes, hello. I thought you would come here. What do you want from me, Tanga? And Tanga's like, I want you to do your job and be a king to these people. He's like, I'll consider it if you give me a kiss. I'm not kidding. This is such a weird story. And she's like, no, I'm not going to kiss you. What? Just do your job. And he's like, you're fighting against the king. You shouldn't be doing that. It's like, I am a freaking god on this planet, dude. I am invincible. What are you talking about? He's like, we're going to fight someday, Tanga. Luckily or unluckily, at that point, a giant monster shows up elsewhere on the planet, and Tanga has to go take care of it. But the king is like, you will serve me. Mark my words. I will break your spirit. And Tanga literally quoted here, bring it, bitch. And then flies off to take care of the giant monster. It's a giant phoenix-looking bird thing. Tanga comes up and she's like, hey, I don't want to hurt you, but you're hurting people, and I know you can't understand me. And then the bird blasts her with this fire, and he's like, okay, well, now I got to take you down. But Tanga's paralyzed and can't move. And she's forced to just float there and watch as the bird thing devours the people on this planet. And the people think that she has abandoned them. And then the issue just ends. I have no clue what's happening here. I'm not familiar with Tanga at all, and this is the most confusing thing I've read this entire show. I'm giving this a 4 just because I don't know what's happening. It's not like it's bad in any way, and maybe we'll get explanations later on, but like, I have no clue at all. Genuinely confused here. The art's fine. I guess I like the characterization, but honestly, it just feels like a fever dream. So yeah, My Greatest Adventure, I guess we'll break it down to those 3 segments each time. What the hell is a Tanga?